In the late 19th century, Japan stood on the edge of transformation. For centuries, it had been ruled by the samurai, warriors bound by honor, tradition, and loyalty to their lords. But when the modern world came knocking, Japan opened its doors to progress, and in doing so, began to dismantle everything the samurai stood for. At the heart of this transformation stood one man, Saigō Takamori, the last true samurai. His life would come to symbolize the clash between old and new, between the sword and the rifle, between loyalty and change. Born in 1828 in the southern domain of Satsuma, Saigo rose from humble origins to become a respected warrior and statesman. He was known for his integrity, his courage, and his deep sense of justice. But Japan was changing fast. The arrival of Western ships and Western power had shattered centuries of isolation. The Meiji Restoration of 1868 sought to modernize Japan, centralize power under the emperor, and abolish the feudal system that had defined samurai life. At first, Saigo supported the new order. He believed Japan needed to unite to survive in a world dominated by colonial empires. He helped overthrow the shogunate, paving the way for imperial rule. But as the years passed, the ideals he had fought for began to twist into something else. The new government he helped build turned against the class that had made it possible. The samurai lost their privileges, their stipends, their swords. Their role in society, protectors, leaders, men of honor, vanished almost overnight. Japan was modernizing, but to Saigo it was also losing its soul. By the mid-1870s, resentment was spreading across the old samurai provinces. Disillusioned warriors felt betrayed. Schools of martial training were replaced with Western-style academies. Firearms replaced the katana. Saigo withdrew from government, returning to his home in Kagoshima. There, he founded an academy where young men trained not just in combat, but in moral virtue, the old samurai way. But the government viewed him with suspicion. His school attracted thousands of disaffected warriors. To Tokyo, Saigo was no longer a hero. He was a threat. In 1877, tensions erupted into open rebellion. Saigo and his followers, around 20,000 men, took up arms against the imperial army. They believed they were fighting to preserve Japan's honor, to remind the emperor of the values his government had abandoned. Their rebellion became known as the Satsuma Rebellion, the final stand of the samurai. The imperial army, modern and disciplined, vastly outnumbered them. Armed with rifles and artillery, they advanced relentlessly. The samurai, fighting with swords and muskets, held out for months through sheer determination and loyalty to Saigo. Battles raged across southern Japan, leaving cities in ruins and thousands dead. And before we continue, if stories like this move you, stories of courage, loyalty, and the cost of change, take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, and share it with someone who loves history as much as you do. And don't forget to subscribe to @Looking Back in Time, where we uncover the moments that shaped humanity's soul. Now back to the final chapter of the samurai. By September 1877, Saigo's forces were cornered near Shiroyama, overlooking his home city of Kagoshima. The imperial army surrounded them with 30,000 men. Saigo had fewer than 500 left, exhausted, wounded, and starving. He refused to surrender. On the morning of September 24th, under a pale sunrise, the last samurai charged down the hill into a storm of gunfire. It was not a battle. It was an act of honor. Saigo was struck by bullets and mortally wounded. According to legend, he asked his comrade to behead him, the final gesture of dignity in the samurai code. His rebellion died with him. The Meiji government declared victory. Japan moved forward, industrialized, centralized, and westernized. Yet even as it celebrated progress, the country mourned what it had lost. Saigō Takamori, the traitor in life, became a hero in death. The emperor himself later pardoned him, calling him a true man of loyalty and spirit. Today, his statue stands in Tokyo's Ueno Park, a silent guardian of a world that no longer exists. His face carries both pride and sorrow, the look of a man who fought for what he believed was right, even when history moved against him. The fall of Saigō Takamori marked more than the end of the samurai. It marked the birth of modern Japan, a nation torn between its past and its future. His story endures because it asks a question that every generation must face. What do we lose when we change too fast? And what is worth fighting for even when you know you cannot win?